Mitchell, you guys, hi. And just so we can do the walk of fame, Paul Williams, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! I got so many stories. What? Together again. Come sit. You guys, now you can't even pee. No peeing. We got a million stories here, and
oh my God, we just snuck away to have some fattening pastries and pull each other out. So I admitted to things I hadn't admitted before. I hope I don't hear them.
you don't want to hear about Barbra Streisand. No, I'm not going to talk about Barbra Streisand. I'm going to talk about Paul Williams. Paul, there's little stories here and there, but I wouldn't mind knowing who initiated the story of Phantom and how did you get involved?
Well, it's a great chance for me to also do what I would always want to open any screening of Phantom and tell the audience that the reason the film exists is because of you, because when it came out, it got very little attention. I mean, it was just, there were two cities, Winnipeg and Paris, where it did,
Paris?
And those cities are so alike, Winnipeg and Paris. It's like one is Pendleton and the other one is, I don't know.
It's cold.
Florida, whatever. Florida cocaine.
Winnipeg is known as a,
very hip city.
Very hip.
And the fact is, they love Phantom of the Paradise, and it was a remarkable thing because they would not let it go, and peggers were offended that the world did not run to this film and everything, what has happened, just basically, to reflect on the way it has grown, from one person sharing it with other people that didn't want to hear it, maybe that didn't even sit through the whole thing, and then out of all those people that kind of went, oh, I get it, yeah, okay, there was one or two that was like, just loved it, and so it grew. But here's what I got out of it. First of all, I got something that I could look at from both sides of my life, as a young man who's fine from, like trailer trash from Nebraska or New Mexico, who's all of a sudden in the middle of what to me was a big picture. I mean, they were fighting to get the money to pay us, but it was a big picture to me. And I get to do the two things that I love. I get to do music, and Brian De Palma, God bless him, as he saw me working with the singers and the musicians, he said, there's this kind of a Phil Spector quality. You could actually play the Phantom. And I went, no, I can't. I mean, to do what Bill Finley did with one eye takes up talent much greater than mine. I said, and then he said, what about Swan? And I went, yes, absolutely. But it started out at A&M Records, where I was a contract writer and was writing for, there's nobody that was, based on the work I had done, that was probably a worse choice to do the music for Phantom of the Paradise, the music of the Spheres, rock and roll, all these different genres of music and everything. And I've been writing for the Carpenters and Three Dog Night, Steve Lawrence, St. Edie Gourmet. It's like, but it was certainly nothing that would say this is the guy. Why didn't they go to David Bowie? Why didn't they go to some of the hardcore, brilliant, I just heard live for the first time in my life Metallica, and those guys are all Phantom of the Paradise fans. Of course they are. I said, they said, we've loved it for years. And I said, I'd love you for hours. But I was at A&M Records, and the A&M hired a guy to try to get the A&M's songs in movies and all. And Brian De Palma came over and talked to the guy that did that, and he said, I think you should meet Paul Williams.
So it started with Brian.
It started with Brian, absolutely.
And he, did you get along with him right away?
Oh, well, yeah, it was interesting. Well, it was interesting because I watched a couple of pictures. I mean, I watched, and they were like sisters where it was really bloody and scary. And I'm not good with horror films. I don't mind making them. I love to make them. But it's like a lot of horror films I have watched from the hall next to the TV room where we're screening things. And my wife will tell me, okay, you can come back in. It's not, he did not cut her tongue out after all.
I was just hearing at the cafe, do you guys know whose song the very first cover that David Bowie ever recorded was?
It froze.
What was it?
It froze.
Yes, but the song,
Yeah, Fill Your Heart.
Fill Your Heart from Hunky Dory.
Biff Rose wrote the music.
And he wrote the lyrics.
Yeah, Biff and I. Yeah, Biff and he was my first collaborator. And an amazing man who just passed away recently. But he was a stand-up comedian and a songwriter, and he wrote really funny songs like Buzz the Fuzz, and Once There Was a Fellow and His Name Was Fuzz. He was just a crooked cop, just a chunky a baby fuzz, whatever. Very funny guy. And we were hired as improvisational actors on the Mort Saul local show. And he played a Chicken Delight. This was during the Vietnam War, like late 60s. And he was cast as a Chicken Delight delivery guy that when he delivers Chicken Delight to the White House, he's drafted, And I was a Boy Scout who was going to get his merit badge at the White House, and I get drafted. And that's how we met. And we wrote 2 or 3 songs, and he went to A&M Records and played him a bunch of songs that he'd written, and he wrote, including 2 or 3 that I'd written. And that he got an advance, and as he was leaving, he said, incidentally, there's a couple songs that I played for you that have lyrics by a guy named Paul Williams. And then he said, well, we'd like to meet him. But they were looking for a lyricist for Roger Nichols, who I wrote the Carpenter stuff with, and a lot of stuff. So Biff Rose was in fact responsible for a major piece of the puzzle of my career and my life and the life that I have today. Biff is a big piece of that, so I like to honor him for that and everything. He got a little strange in the later part of his life and all, but he was an important part of my past, and I'm grateful.
Did you have a mentor as a songwriter?
Did I? Yeah. Well, I have 2 mentors. I had a brother named Mentor. I had a brother named Mentor who was a wonderful songwriter. But my favorite band ever was a band called the original Delaney and Bonnie and Friends.
One of the only white bands on Stax Records.
Oh my God, you know about them.
Love them.
Oh, it had, Leon Russell,
Wrote
Carl
Superstar.
Riddle on bass. They're just an amazing band and all. And it's like, it's not the kind of music that I've ever really written. I got close to it on some of the stuff for Emmett Otter's Joke on Christmas.
They were pretty folky. Folky rock.
Yeah, that's a little more folky. But my brother Mentor was 6 years younger than me, and when I was a little kid, they'd have me sing for company, and I'd sing a song, and people would be applauding. My little 4-year-old brother would all of a sudden be behind a curtain or a door, and you'd hear, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very in July, had a very shiny nose. He'd put his head up and he'd go, I could sing too. And he could sing, and when he was in his early 20s, he came to California. I have to tell this story because I love my brother so much. He passed away in 2016 at 70. But so he came out and he said, I want to do this, Paul. I want to do it. And he played in bars in New Mexico when he was 16. So we get him a little starter 6-month publishing deal at A&M. And I get him an office too. I don't get him, but they're kind of give him an office like a couple doors down from me. And for 6 months he's listening to the radio and he's trying to write something. He's going, oh my God. And he's writing pretty good songs, but nothing is clicking. Nobody's listening to anything. In those days you had acetate dubs show a song, and then people would listen to it, and they'd do it. So 6 months, his contract's over. He goes into the studio on a really, really rainy day, and he goes into his office and he realizes come Monday he's going to have to take all the stuff off the walls, He's moving out of his office. The dream is over, and it's pouring rain outside, and he's totally confused. And he grabs a yellow paper, and a pad, and a pen, and he writes, day after day I'm more confused. It's pouring outside, yet I look for the light in the pouring rain. You know it's a game I hate to lose. He has a big faith. I'm counting on you to carry me through. And then it just pours out of him. Give me the beat, boys, and free my soul. I want to get lost in your rock and roll and drift away.
Great song.
That's Mentor. That's my brother Mentor. Not only that, he fell in love with a guy named Dobie Gray, who was a has-been, who Dobie Gray had done the In Crowd. He was Yesterday's News. He was and this was 1972, whatever. Dobie had recorded one of my songs with a group called Pollution. Men had grabbed Dobie, took him to Nashville, and they just walked into a random studio and they managed to find the best studio. Sometimes the big amigo was whispering to you. One of the things the reason I love telling that story is that what Mentor did is he dared to tell the truth. And we saw the immediate impact of authenticity. I mean, there's not a lot of people like this man that do the kind of work that this man does. It is uniquely him, and I love it, and the world does. This is what we are. We have our own art and the like, but we also have our own truth and our own story. So there's got to be some filmmakers and some songwriters sitting out there. And my champion to you is let us hear who you are. I didn't work with my brother when he was writing really good songs that did not come from the center of his chest. From the center of his chest, you're home free with that. No matter what, it's good therapy.
It really is. And I just started writing songs more recently because I don't play an instrument. And friends were saying, "Well, you can't write if you can't play an instrument." And I was like, "Okay, I won't do that." And then my friend said, it was a great exercise. He said, we're gonna write together 20 songs in 12 hours. Stop thinking and just writing.
Brand of amphetamines.
He's the most straight edge guy, and we were in Miami. There's nothing else to do, so he had a keyboard and a guitar, and he said, "This is called GarageBand. I'm going to play a musical setting, verse, chorus, bridge, and you're going to go in the other room. This is how you record your voice. Just do it on your earpods, buds, and don't think about it. Just do it while I record the next song's setting, the next song track." And it's all off the top of our heads. And we wrote 8 songs, and I stopped thinking, and I stopped judging myself, and realized, and I discovered doubling my voice. It's a magical moment.
The best camouflage in the world.
Right. And harmony on yourself and all those things.
He was full of dreams in a cowboy shirt. He sat down next to me to dish the dirt, and we wound up talking about the way our dreams were coming true.
Song just got wrote. Paul was telling me a beautiful thing that I think everybody should do is when he does benefits and stuff, he auctions off a song for that person. The person who pays the most gets to choose what the song is about, and then Paul writes it for them. So if anybody's got $1 million.
Let me just say that it's something we'll write together. If you have a great charity or something like that and everything, right now I'm writing 2 with Portugal the Man, and do you love Portugal the Man? Any of you do? Are you proud of it? Oh my God, I love these guys. I am coloring outside the lines with Portugal the Man, yeah. So
we have a special friend tonight who you've actually worked with.
I love him.
Jake Shears from Scissor Sisters. Stand up, Jake. There he is.
I love Jake so much. We wrote 2 or 3 songs together now, and he knows I love him. And he's a brother too. We get.
Love you, Paul.
I love you, Jay. Sister. Oh my
This is
God.
just classic. Let's get back to Phantom.
Okay.
Tell us a nasty story. No, you were actually, as we were watching, Finley. What's his William?
Don't
Bill
ask
Finley.
about Miami, Conchetta, that three-way with Loretta. You would. That was.
Is that one of the songs? Has it been recorded yet?
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
As we were watching the scene, the very advanced scene when all the women are writhing on the bed for no apparent reason.
And Bill Finley.
And Bill Finn, it's like, get this bag out of here. I left as soon as I heard that. But remember, Bill Finley went up to Jessica Harper and says, "What are you singing?" You said that was a real story. What happened?
It was, well, and it's funny because Jessica just told the story on a podcast. But she saw Brian and she did like a screen test, whatever, in L.A. and then they flew her out to New York to sing for me and Brian, you know. So I go to, you know, and what I did is I wanted for the part of Phoenix, I wanted the actors that were auditioning to sing Superstar. Long ago and oh so far away, I fell in love with you before the second show. It just had something. There was a quality to that beautiful Leon Russell song that I thought was not dissimilar from that and Old Souls. And Old Souls was brand new, and I thought, you know, so I walk into the office building, you know, where the auditions are, and I walk into the waiting room to go and join Brian, and there's basically a bunch of young ladies with, you know, with the words, or the sheet music and the words, whatever they had. Anyway, I walk up behind Jessica and she's going, you know, long ago, and you're so far away. I fell in love with you before the second show. I went, oh. I said, that's fantastic. You know, what's your name? Whatever, blah blah like that. I said, you're amazing. And she had that innocence and sensuality hybrid thing going. That was just, you know, I didn't know if it was me that was just impossible to look at somebody, you know, with, you know, the kind of deep loving respect that I do these days. As part of me that just went, oh my God, she's so innocent and sweet and hot and wow. Just, I was very young, and boundaries were not good. But I went inside and she came in to sing it and she went, long ago, and oh so beautifully. But I went, no, sing it like you did outside. She sang it to herself, you know, and I think what I said was something I heard before from a wonderful producer. He said, sing it like you're singing to your daughter at bedtime. Whatever the words are, if you want to confuse it with intimacy and love, just don't perform it, you know. And that, as an actor, I would be willing to bet that one of the big tasks for you is to not get performances, but people that work and will let the camera come into that, who they are.
Yeah. If you think it, the camera sees it. You don't have to push it. Jessica Harper was a wonderful actress who went on to do a lot of things. Was she in Sisters? No, she was in Suspiria, but there was there another De Palma? Dressed to Kill?
No, right after she did Phantom of the Paradise, she had a relationship with Woody Allen, and what was the film she was in with Woody?
Stardust Memories.
Stardust Memories, and all. You know, and
I'll help her.
but Woody Allen's son became a friend of mine very good. So it was really interesting.
If you dated him, you were in his movies.
And I'm implying that there was a deeply passionate relationship between myself and Mary Harper, but there was not. There was, but she was an amazing. It is an amazing actress.
Amazing actress. She, you know, a little known part in her later life was a film that was called the best film of the 90s by Todd Haynes called Safe. And she had a small role of a woman, you sense that she had cancer, and she's at this camp, and it's very touching. And I first saw her, I think, before I saw Phantom in Shock Treatment, which was the Rocky Horror sequel. Had you seen Rocky Horror? Because that was happening on stage. Phantom came out before Rocky Horror, but Rocky Horror was on stage in London for a few years. Had you seen that before, like Phantom? You hadn't?
Phantom was actually... Phantom, sorry. Oh, wait, I'm powerful now. Yeah, I do that with my phone too. I'll be on my morning jog, I'll be out there talking to somebody, and then I realized I was ignoring them for a long time. No, I had not. I don't think I've ever seen Rocky Horror on stage. No, I haven't. I saw your magnificent film first. Did I see it on stage? In L.A.
Oh, okay. It was at the Henry Fonda.
Yeah, exactly.
With Michael Cerveris.
And then saw the film, and it's just, I mean, it's a brilliant piece of filmmaking, and it's just, you talk about daring. As you found that story and it began to evolve for you, I mean, I love what we do. I love my life. I'm 83 and I'm like 9.
Yeah. Does your family live a long? Did they live a long time?
No, my dad was killed in a car wreck when he was 59. He was drunk. I am. Wait a minute. Let me check. Hold on. I have to make sure. I am 34 years sober.
Yeah. So, well, you're in New Orleans. That's over.
You know, it's. I mean, I remember coming to New Orleans with Lee Majors. We flew in.
$6 million man.
And I have a picture of him leading me around with a dog collar so I don't wander off. and I jokingly, I mean, he put it on me as a joke, and then I walked over and raised my leg to a fire hydrant, and somebody took a picture of it, and I've got it somewhere.
Jake was wearing a dog collar at Easter parade. It happens here. Yeah. So Jessica, did you remain friends? I mean, who did you remain friends with from the film that were buddies?
Well, you know, the Juicy Fruits were all guys. You know, Archie Hahn and was actually a bunch of the voices in Bugsy Malone. Jeffrey Commodore was a songwriter at ASCAP, and I brought Jeffrey in because I thought he'd be great. He's so funny. His first album was called "A Legend in His Own Mind, a Rumor in His Own." A Legend in His Own Room, a Rumor in His Own Time. That's the name of his album. Great sense of humor and very musical. And he's the one who sings Upholstery, and Archie sings Goodbye Eddie Goodbye. And I mean, it was amazing because we're shooting during the day. We shot the first stuff in LA, all the stuff around the contract scene with Bill and myself, and then headed for the Majestic Theater in Dallas.
That was all the performance stuff.
And so it was an amazing opportunity to do it all, but it was also with the price of doing it all, because I'd be shooting, all day. And then I would leave and I'd go to the studio and record vocals with the guys, because you had to pre-record it for lip sync when you're filming, and you can't use production sound. You have to lip sync to it. So at the end of a night of doing that, a couple times I would go back to the set. They'd take my old makeup off, put fresh makeup on, and we'd shoot. And there's a scene that I was so exhausted that we had to reshoot the scene, and it's the contract scene on the roof. When Winslow was watching me make love to his love of his life, and I mean, we shot it, and I could not remember my middle name. I was so exhausted. So we reshot that. And there are scenes in Phantom where I walk up to, when we're gonna the seal it now scene, where we're gonna brick up the thing with Bill. When I walk up to the door, it's in L.A. When you cut inside, and when I walk up to the door, it's in Dallas. When I open the door and step inside, it's in L.A. And when I come around behind when I come inside and do the Thursday scene, it's in New York. So it's like 10 seconds of film, I'm in 3 cities, And if you look at it again sometime, you'll notice that my weight did not stay as. You notice that they're shooting from the back, and all of a sudden, Williams is a little wider than he was in the early days.
You were telling me a great story about your buddy when you would open for Rocky or Raquel Welch. As you can tell from the clips at the beginning, Paul got around, right? He knew everybody. And you were still impressed by some of those people. My God.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like I say, I'm this kid that's finally immersed in it. I started out as an actor. No is a gift for me. When I don't get something that I think I want, and especially since I got sober, I've totally believe that no is a gift. If I don't get something that I absolutely know is good, right for me, it's great, it's important, and I don't get it, my first thought is, oh my God, what would that have interfered with? It's better. And because that's what my entire life looks like. The fact that I didn't get an acting career, I felt like Montgomery Clift. I looked like Haley Mills. It was just, it was hard to cast.
Yeah, but you carved out this place for yourself in the 70s. As a kid, you were as famous as Nixon.
Well, I'd like to thank Kennedy, but my political preference. But
They're asking us to get the hell out. How about one question that Paul has never been asked? Guess if he's never been asked. Between two, we'll see what's the best one. What do you?
What was it like being on Fantasy Island? Was it amazing?
What was it like being on Fantasy Island, or?
I was going to ask what was your favorite song you wrote for this movie, but also I wanted to say on behalf of my mom who wanted to be here but couldn't, that she loved this album and this movie and for you as a teenager. I just wanted you to know that on her behalf.
Your mom loves this album.
okay, here's the deal. I'll answer yours, and I'll make a little video for your mom before I leave. I'll say my mom, and I want you to know I love you and thank you.
What was it again?
Oh, what was it like being on Fantasy Island?
Well,
Fantasy Island.
The same company did that as the Love Boat, and the Love Boat is one of my songs, So,
The Love Boat.
Charlie Fox and I. That's my words, his music.
Jack Jones.
Jack Jones sang it. You know what? Charlie Fox calls me and he says, "There's a series about a cruise ship." And the island, a cruise ship. You go, wow, yeah. He said, "Would you write the lyrics?" I said, "Yeah, okay. We work with you, Charlie, of course." And so then I wrote the lyrics, and he played me the music. I wrote the lyrics right away, and called Jack Jones and said, "Jack, we don't think this is going to last 5 weeks. And we'll be honest with you, because I can spot a hit, as you can tell." And I said, but Jack, would you sing it for us? And he said, "Sure, I'd love to." And it ran 11 years first run. And the same guys did Fantasy Island, and I did, I think, 3 or 4. I actually did a pilot film for another series that was supposed to be about a rock star who's seen a murder, so he becomes a butler. It's based on an old movie. So he cuts his hair and everything. It was really good. It was really fun. But here's my biggest memory from Fantasy Island. I had one. There was one where I had to get married, or I was going to lose my inheritance by a certain date. There was one where my whole thing was I dreamed of being in a harem But I didn't know I was going to wind up being one of several guys in here with Jane Meadows. Coincidentally, he's a really good kisser. But the one that I will always remember, because it was anytime you put an actor on a horse, two things happen. It's interesting hybrid. First of all, you go, oh my God, I get to be oh my God, I get to ride a horse. Oh my God, I don't ride horses. But oh yeah, this is going to be great fun. But you forget that in Don Quixote, you're going to be wearing armor. And, I run every morning. I run almost 2 miles every morning. I jog. I don't run. Even when I run faster up and down than I do forward. I'm not the most graceful runner in the world, or a jogger. And I'm the same on it. So they put armor on me, and it's armor. It's metal, and it's got some leather parts and all, and then we're shooting this scene over and over and over again where I jog up or I canter up. And of course it's just me, I'm going up while the armor's coming down. I can't, and explaining to my wife how I got the bruises in my crotch required some amazing a sense of fiction and reality that was pretty impressive, because of course I wouldn't say it was from the armor. She'd never believe it.
From the sling. We're being thrown out because the Overlook is continuing. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Williams!